So first of all, Shavua Tov, Chodesh Tov, and welcome to another live stream. I've changed the time actually, so we will now be doing these live streams on Sundays, Yom Rishon, at 11 Israel time. So from wherever you are watching, you should check when is that in your location. As I've mentioned, most of my viewers and subscribers are from the United States of America. So it's a big country with a lot of time zones. So please check. And in these live streams, I will give you a bit of an update on our Jewish life here in Israel, Baruch Hashem, as well as what I'm currently learning, some channel updates, if any. And I will also be answering your many questions from the live stream chat, which we have here, that will take preference, and also from the comments. And I do get quite a lot of comments on this channel, so thanks a lot for everyone that takes the time to comment on one of my videos. I will also be mentioning those comments and answering any questions that is in the comment section of my channel. And if you want your questions answered, then you just need to leave me a message in any of my videos, and then who knows, maybe I'll be answering your question or comment next in the next live stream. I'm going to try to do this now every Yom Rishon, every Sunday at 11 p.m. Israel time. And just a time that works a little bit better for me. Yom Hamishi, Thursdays, when the week ends in Israel, the working week, it's not the best time because we have a bit of a family time on that day, a braai in Afrikaans. In English, it's called a barbecue. So I do want to take that day, that Thursday, Yom Hamishi, and spend it with family, which is also something I've spoken a bit about, which is to achieve a balance in life between, Torah, dedication to Torah, learning, praying, and work. I work for the government, for the Ministry of Health, the Ministry of Defense, National Insurance Fund, and for medical aids. I also edit for Rabbi Lappin for his Matmonim project. And then I also have this channel. I also edit for the Renana Community Kollel. So I do have quite a lot of things on my plate, but I am trying to fit everything in. And, then we have also, so we have Torah, we have work, and we have family. I'm married, I have 3 kids, Baruch Hashem. My mother-in-law is here, my father-in-law and the other mother is on their way. So I do need to make time for that as well. Also, if you are new here, my name is Shayel Kriel. I started my Jewish journey in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, where I worked for the King Sultan bin Abdulaziz in 2011. I come from a Christian background. I finished my Orthodox conversion to Judaism in South Africa in 2017. And I moved to Israel in 2019 and have been living here in Israel ever since. Baruch Hashem. If you are someone that wants to learn more about Judaism, converting to Judaism, or life in Israel, then I think you will find my over 500 videos here on YouTube helpful and informative. And if you do, please like the video if you benefited from it and leave a comment. This helps the video spread to a wider audience. the last live stream I mentioned that I've reached 14,000 subscribers. So thanks a lot to everyone that has subscribed to my channel. And if you are someone that want to learn more about Judaism, converting to Judaism and Israel, then subscribe to my channel. I am not very consistent in uploading videos like some other YouTubers. I upload videos when I have time. So subscribe and press the bell notification, then you will be notified when I do upload a video. I also want to thank all my channel members that contribute monthly to this channel. I mentioned them in the first live stream when I came back. So thanks a lot to everyone, to all the members. And if you are not yet a member, then you can click the join button at the bottom to become a member, which obviously helps, supports this channel financially. So thanks a lot to all my members. So first, a little bit of a life update before we get, I see there's already someone already wrote something. I'll even leave that in. It's not the greatest comment. It's from our cousins, but I'll leave it there. I don't really delete comments. Like I said in one of the videos I made about dealing with negativity, you can see it now for yourself on the live chat. That is what I get regularly. So I'll leave it there now, then I'll also address his comment. But first, a bit of a life update. So we are in the month of Elul, the Jewish month of Elul, which is one of my favorite months in the Jewish calendar. And it's a month in which we prepare for the month of Tishrei. And on the 1st of Tishrei is Rosh Hashanah, the head of the year, the beginning of the new Jewish year, which is also called Yom Adin, the Day of Judgment. And we also say Avinu Malkeinu, our Father and our King. And I made a video about this in the past, but basically what that tells us is that God is both our Father, but He's also the King. And as we prepare in this month of Elul for Rosh Hashanah, we get ready for the Day of Judgment. Now the judge will be the King, God, but He's also our Father. So we have both mercy and judgment mixed together. So it's a great month to work on ourselves. And we should work on ourselves throughout the year. I know there's a big thing in Judaism that everyone gets ready in Elul and, starts to learn a bit more Torah, which is always good. Prays a bit with a bit more kavanah, with a bit more concentration, which is also good. But all these things are good throughout the year. It's not just for the month of Elul, which is the message that I want to bring across. I also spoke about this in another live stream when I spoke about the schedule. I actually made a shorter video about it. And in that video, I mentioned that a Jew should ideally do cheshbon nefesh, accounting of the soul, like reviewing yourself daily, something that I don't do. I do it a little bit in the Beit Shema, but I wouldn't call that a full cheshbon nefesh for the day, a full accounting of the soul for the day. But I do it every Shabbos, before Shabbos. So just before Shabbos comes in, I come and sit here, and I have some alone time where I review my week. And in that review, I look at things that I could have done better, and there's always a lot of things I could have done better, and things that I want to do better, that I'm working on. I also do it every Rosh Chodesh, so the beginning of every new month, like we're having now. We are in Rosh Chodesh Elul, the beginning of the month of Elul. But I do this every month, not just Elul. And then I review the month, what went well, what didn't go as well. I'm big on making schedules, like I've mentioned in another live stream. I've also made a shorter video about that. And that's a very good practice to implement, is to do this cheshbon nefesh at least before Shabbos, and then every Rosh Chodesh. And in this way, you improve yourself little by little, Shabbos to Shabbos, Chodesh to Chodesh. And then you have the big review, which is the review I do before Rosh Hashanah, before the beginning of a new year. And I normally don't make like grand plans, like I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, like a lot of things. I normally focus on three things that I want to do better for the year to come. Because if it's less, then I actually achieve some of them. Which I did in the past, if I do a lot of things that I want to improve on, then I end up not doing any of them. So this is a strategy that has worked for me pretty well. And I think it's a strategy that you could also adopt. Also, it was the birthday of my son, Azriel, on Chavchet B'Av, so just before Shabbos on Yom Shishi. So Mazel Tov to him, turned 3 years old, and he's now wearing tzitzit and kippah. We have been training him for a while to wear kippah. It's not easy, doesn't always keep it on his head. But chinuch actually starts at age 7, most people say. Chinuch is education. But most people say you should start at 3. Start letting him get used to tzitzit and wearing a kippah, saying the brachot. He's Baruch Hashem very good in the brachot, the blessings we say before food, when we wash our hands, when we go out of the bathroom. So Baruch Hashem, we have a lot of nachas, a lot of joy from him. Judaism is all he knows. He was born in Israel. He has never known another religion. Was born Jewish, from birth. Baruch Hashem. So it is great to see. And please God, he should continue to learn Torah, cleave to Hashem all the days of his life. It was also his parsha. His parashat Shavua is Re'eh, see. The parsha actually starts with Re'eh bracha, see the blessing. And Baruch Hashem, with Azriel, we definitely see the blessing. God has been very good to us. It was a very difficult time during the pregnancy and everything. And Baruch Hashem, all turned out well. That's also why we named him Azriel, which comes from the root Azor, help. God is my helper is the meaning of his name, because we have felt and still feel that God helps us in everything that we do. Baruch Hashem. And please God, Azriel should continue at 120 until 120, and always cleave to the Torah, the mitzvot, the commandments, and to God himself. Also, another simcha we had was a wedding of our previous community, the community we are returning to in July, in the year to come, where it was the wedding of Dael, the Lafers. So the person that I'm very close with, the person that started or restarted KBA, Kilat Bnei Aaron in Ranana. Ilan Chazin, together with Uriel Gochen. Ilan Chazin's sister's daughter got married in Petach Tikva. So we were there for the wedding. It was very good. It was very nice to see everyone. My rabbi was there. My rabbi, Rabbi Yitzchak Steinberg, who is the Rosh Kollel of Eretz Chamda Ranana, he was actually the Chavruta of Ilan's sister's husband, Lafer. So he's actually also a lawyer. He's also my lawyer in Israel. So Michal Lafer. So it was very nice to see my rabbi and the Rebbetzin. And Baruch Hashem, we should continue to have only celebrations together and good news. My learning is still the same. I'm doing the Mishnayot program still with my Chavruta. He's currently in South Africa, so he's a little bit less available. I'm still learning the Parsha with Ramban, working on my Hebrew. That's a continuous process. Also doing the Mishnah Brura I told you about, the Oralam edition. So still doing that daily, Baruch Hashem. And then I also edit for the Matmonim project of Rabbi David Lappin. So basically doing Daf Yomi, or part of the Daf, the part that he now takes out. Matmon means a hidden treasure, for those that is not always watching the live streams. So that was all the updates. There's no real channel updates. I'm still working on all these projects, these series that I've launched. The Tehillim, the Psalms reading, that's still on the to-do list. I'm also still need to do all the commandments you can practically keep. I already did one, but I need to do all of them. But it obviously all takes a bit of time. And then also the rabbis that I recommend highly. Still working on that. And, stay tuned. Subscribe. Press the bell notification. Then you'll be updated when I do make those videos. As I said, I do work quite a lot. So I make videos, these series videos, as and when I have time. So that was all the updates. Now we'll go to this live chat. I'll just move the screen a little bit so I can actually read the chat. So let's first go to our cousin, Hamza Mustafa. When you read such a name, you get a lot of Arabs. I have actually a lot of Arabs that want to convert to Judaism because they saw the truth. They saw that Islam is fake, was made up by a man called Muhammad 1,400 years ago. A man that went into a cave, who he himself said was strangled by a demon, and thus everything he received is from this demon. And you can see in the religion of Islam, Muslims can continue to say that Islam is a religion of peace as much as they want. But you look at the fruits of the tree and the mess they make wherever they go. It's just violence. So, and that is what Muhammad said. He received the Quran from a demon. And that is why Islam is what it is today. So it doesn't help you keep on saying it's a religion of peace, but then on 7 October 2023, you come into Israel and you slaughter 1,200 civilians. That, in my books, is not a religion of peace. Now, you might think that's peaceful because you are completely meshugana, you are completely crazy. But it's because you are reading a book that your prophet Muhammad said he received from a demon. So I'm not very surprised with your comment, Hamza Mustafa. Not surprised at all. Because, you have been educated your entire life to hate, to kill, and That's also what is written in the Torah, so I cannot even blame you. Because God says in the Torah of Ishmael that his hand will be against everyone. And if it's written in the Torah, that will be true forever. And that is what we have with the descendants of Ishmael, the Arabs, who unfortunately creates a mess wherever they go. Look at Europe today. A complete balagan, an absolute mess because of Islam. The book that Muhammad said he received from a demon. So what do you expect? That's what you're going to get. If a demon gives you a book and teaches you to slaughter people wherever you find them, if they don't agree with you, al-tubach, if you want to look it up, then that's what you get. I also just want to add here that not all Arabs is like Khamsa Mustafa. You get the majority of Arabs is a good, decent people. I would say 90%. But there is over 2 billion of these Arabs. So 10% is a lot. 10% of crazy for 2 billion is a lot of people. So let's read his comment. It is in the live chat. I've actually also enabled live replay, so people can see these comments. Don't think people always believe what I receive here on YouTube. So Hamza Mustafa is saying, how does it feel to be a baby killer? Did you learn this from the Nazis? So let's go on the first one. How does it feel to be a baby killer? I should ask you. The Arabs are known to slaughter babies. I have a video on my channel which shows a very graphic footage of what Muslim Arabs did on the 7th of October 2023. Slaughtered babies. There's footage of it. You can watch that video. Actually, YouTube will give you a warning before you watch that video. But that's what you did. I'm not saying you specifically, but that is what Arab Muslims did on the 7th of October. And we don't kill babies, Baruch Hashem. Judaism have very strict laws on who we can kill and who we can't kill. And I already made a video that shows the great extent that Israel goes through before it attacks anything. I'll give you a good example here, Khamsa Mustafa. Before we attack any building, we drop pamphlets telling you we're going to strike that building. After that, we call the manager of the building, like a phone call, saying that we're going to strike that building. Then we take an empty shell and drop it on the roof. This is famous. This is called a roof knock. To give people that didn't listen to the pamphlets, that didn't listen to the building manager, to give them time to exit the building. Then only do we strike the building. Now the question is, how do children and babies then die in Gaza if we are taking all these precautions? The answer is very simple. Your people, Muslim Arabs, Hamas, which means thieves in Hebrew, is using innocent civilians as human shields. They've always done it. That is their policy. That is how they protect themselves as terrorists and their weapons. So you should take this comment and you should write it to your people, the Muslim Arabs in Gaza, called Hamas and Palestinian Jihad. Now, if your people, the Arab Muslims, were so good in Gaza, why have they not returned a single hostage to us? Why have they not provided us with any information so we can go collect those hostages ourselves? You know, when you don't actively commit a murder, but you assist in murdering someone, that is a crime. So, because the people of Gaza does not release our innocent hostages, that you are starving to death. I mean, look at the terrorists. They look well fed. I just made a video about it. And I don't see the terrorists looking like our hostage. Our hostage looks starved to death. And look at your hostage. Look at your people, the Palestinians, the people that have stolen our land, Jewish land. Read your book that the demon gave to your prophet Muhammad. That book itself says that Israel is Jewish land. Your prophet Muhammad said, go to the people of the book Amma Sefer if you are in doubt about anything that I'm telling you. Now the people of the book Amma Sefer, the Jewish people, is telling you, because it's written in our Torah, the Torah that you believe in, that this is Jewish land. Why are you taking our land? Why don't you return to where you came from? Egypt, Jordan, Lebanon, Syria. Why are you still here? So that's the first thing on the baby killer. Now you also commented and you said, did you learn this from the Nazis? The Nazis slaughtered 6 million Jews. Not talking about all the other people the Nazis slaughtered. This is exactly what you are doing. You are a Nazi. You and your people, the Arab Muslims, that slaughtered 1,200 civilians. Most of them were at a music festival, my friend. They posed no threat to you. You went deliberately to them to kill them, to slaughter them. That's exactly what the Nazis did. So, we don't behave like the Nazis. The Nazis killed the Jews. You, Arab Muslims, joined the Nazis to slaughter Jews, because this is for you the ultimate goal, to slaughter the people of God. The Torah says the Jewish people are the people of God. So I think both your questions you should address to yourself and to your people, the Arab Muslims. Aspire to inspire is saying Chodesh Tov Mishpacha, which means a good month, family, and the Jewish people are all a family. So Chodesh Tov to everyone. Robin Mertz is also saying Chodesh Tov. She comments on a lot of my videos. So thanks a lot for all your comments. Always nice to hear from you. Hope you're well. Israel Leisenring is also a long-time subscriber. I think one of the first subscribers to my channel, when this channel was still very small. He's also saying Chodesh Tov. And then Dr. Tang is just adding to what I've just told Khamsa. Well, it's actually Hamas. Oh, yeah, he's changing the name, not Khamsa, to Hamas. I think that's appropriate, Mustafa. And saying enough blood libels. Because in Europe, a lot of the problems started with blood libels. Like this ignorant Khamsa, Mustafa, said that we kill babies. That was a claim that was made also in Europe, which led to the slaughter of many Jews. It's a label that they are trying to push again. So I think I addressed that comment. But yes, enough of these lies that you tell yourself to sleep at night. First of all, also this, something I didn't mention is, we didn't attack first. You attacked on the 7th of October 2023, slaughtering 1,200 civilians, threw the first punch, we punched back. We're still punching. And you're angry about that. Now, I'm going to teach you a valuable lesson that you must learn from this whole story is don't punch. Don't punch first. Israel never punches first. That is why it's called the Israeli Defense Forces, because we defend. Once we are attacked, we counterattack. That's what we've always done. So learn from history. If you're not ready to be attacked, don't attack us. If you leave us alone, we leave you alone. We are good like that, because we are a religion of peace, not like your religion. Then aspire to inspire, saying Mazel Tov to your son. Thank you. To Azriel on his 3rd birthday. Baruch Hashem, big blessing. Then we have another one of our cousins, Baruch Hashem. A lot of cousins have joined this chat. Muhammad al-Badai. He's saying children are being starved to death in Gaza. Yes, by Hamas. We are letting truckloads of aid in. Have you seen how big those people in Gaza are? I made a video about it. You can check it. It's actually my most recently published video, where I show the images of these fat ladies in Gaza. Now, I'm not sure where they're getting the food, but they're getting plenty. They should go on a diet. My personal opinion, I work in healthcare. It's not good to be that fat. I'm just saying. And you do see people that looks like they didn't get a lot of food. So go ask Hamas. Hamas means thieves in Hebrew. The word Hamas is thief. Someone that steals. That's who they are. They steal the food for themselves to keep them strong to fight. Strong to fight in a land that they do not own. This is Jewish land. Read your Quran. It's from a demon, but God orchestrated it in a way that there's still a lot of truth bombs in that Quran. One being that this is Jewish land. That's clear. Second, that you should listen to Am HaSefer, the people of the book, the Torah. And the third one is that nowhere in that book is Jerusalem mentioned. So you're saying that you started this whole thing, the Al-Aqsa floods, because we, the Jewish people, is storming Al-Aqsa. First of all, that's where our temples stood, the first and the second one. And you built a mosque in the place of our temple. Please go and demolish that ugly mosque so that we can rebuild our third temple, thank you very much, and get out of our land. As easy as that. It's not rocket science. So yes, people are starving in Gaza, but they're being starved by Hamas. Plenty of food is coming in. There's airdrops. Ask Hamas, where is our food? Go and do that. Muhammad al-Badai. Thank you. Israel Ring says, love these live streams. Please keep it up, friend. I will try my best. I have said that I want to do these live streams every week, and please God, Bli Neder, without a vow, I will do them, because I do want to create a space where we can interact like this, even with our cousins. Also valuable, because they've been lied to for so long that they're believing their lies. That is, it's sad, but it's true. Someone needs to start telling them the truth, because shame, they don't get a lot of the truth. They only get lies. They get fed lies by UNRWA. Is an agency that operated in Gaza and in the territories for years. And the whole education system is teaching terror, teaching to kill Jews. We should start a counter education to teach them actually a little bit about their religion, because they don't know a lot, and help them so that they can come to the truth. One of the 7 laws of Noah is you shall not murder. and they are murderers, so they will not have a share in the world to come. So we need to help them because they're struggling. The next comment is Maghribi Fi London Vlogs, also one of our cousins. Welcome, Maghribi. Why are you teaching hate? I'm not sure if he's asking me or himself. I think this is a question he's asking internally to himself. I don't know why you are teaching hate. I strongly believe it's from the origins of your book. Your book, the Quran, Muhammad, your prophet said it was from a demon. So naturally, what is going to come out of there is darkness. That is what you have been spreading all over the world for the last 1,400 years. You have a very good track record of slaughtering your own people. Shias against Sunnis. Just look at the history. I'm not sure why there's so much hate in your religion. I think a lot of it is from, like I said, the Quran, which comes from a demon given to Muhammad by this demon. And I think it's also a lot of jealousy, resentment. Because Ishmael was not chosen, and Yitzchak was chosen, and then after Yitzchak, Yaakov, I think the Arabs feel a lot of resentment because Ishmael was sent away by Avram, together with his mother, Hagar, who was an Egyptian princess. So there's a lot of, bad feelings, bad feelings from a long time ago. And they're jealous. They're jealous that we were chosen by God to be God's people. And they're struggling to get over that. Also, Muhammad wanted to convert to Judaism. He was very interested in Judaism. But the Jews rejected him and his book that he got from the demon, the Quran. So they don't feel good about that. I think you're asking yourself, why teaching hate? I think that is why Islam teaches so much hate, is because of all the reasons I just mentioned. The next comment, now I'm just reading the comments. I can block people on here or disable their messages, block them from any future live streams, but I've decided I think debate is good. And we should start educating people. I made a few videos about the 7 laws of Noah. And Jews are actually obligated to teach these 7 laws of Noah. And, Islam, if you're a non-violent Muslim, then you actually follow a lot of these laws, of the 7 laws of Noah, and then you will definitely have a share in the world to come. But if you are a Muslim that is killing people, murder, then you will have no share in the world to come. You can forget about these virgins. Not sure you Muslims are fascinated with the virgins, virgin kids, by the way. Also shows you the origins of this book. It's strange because, all the religions, the heaven is like a serene place where everything is clean, and like the Jewish heaven is sitting in the presence of God, learning the Torah, being close to God, being connected to God. That's the Jewish heaven. Where the Islam heaven is smoking joints, drinking alcohol, having orgies, having these little kids that they want to sleep with. That's their heaven. Imagine that. That's sick. I just say. That just sounds sick. And all my cousins can tell me if that's accurate. Is that a good description of your heaven? Because that's what I've heard. And I was educated in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. I lived there 3 years. I was 1 year in Malaysia. So 4 years in total in Muslim dominant countries. And I learned a little bit about Islam, which is a disadvantage for you, because I actually studied it a little bit. So Francis Syed strange Francis would say it, okay? Clarify what type of Jew. Jewry is not one hegemonic bloc. You need to distinguish between Zionist Jewry and anti-Zionist Jewry. So thank you for the question, first of all. There's a little bit of a misconception that you've raised in this message, is all Jews believe in Zion. Zion is the name for Yerushalayim, Zion. It's called in Ivrit, in Hebrew. So all Jews believe in Yerushalayim. All Jews believe that we should return to Yerushalayim, to Israel and Yerushalayim. We say after every festival, B'shana haba b'Yerushalayim. In the coming year, in Yerushalayim. We all believe in Yerushalayim, Zion. We all believe that the Jews from all four corners of the earth should return to Israel, settle the land, rebuild the land, wait or bring, depending on how you interpret it, for the Jewish king, the Messiah, who will be a normal human king. Just putting it out there. He's not a god. He's not a son of God. He is just a Jewish king. And he will come and he will rebuild the third temple and he will reinstitute the Sanhedrin, the 70 plus 1 judges, 71 judges. He will reinstate the sacrifices. The Kohanim, the Jewish priests, will be at their positions. The Levites will be in their positions. And we will return to biblical Judaism, if you want to call it that. So, to answer your comment, all Jews are Zionists. All Jews believe that we should return from the four corners of the earth to Zion, to Yerushalayim. So, I have seen that some people try to position it that they are not against Jews. They are against Zionim, we say in Ivrit, in Hebrew. They are against Zionists. Now, I don't get the difference, because Jews believe in Zion, believe in Zion, believe in Israel, believe in Yerushalayim, the rebuilding of it, returning to it, that this is our land. So I don't think it helps you, this Havdil, this distinction that you want to make between Jews and Zionists, because all Jews are Zionists. I think what you're trying to say is people that is pro the state of Israel and people that are not pro the state of Israel. The majority of Jews, 90%, I'm talking about people that actually know a little bit about Judaism, religious Jews, are pro-Israel. They are pro the state of Israel. Not saying they're pro the politicians and the laws that the state makes. It's a secular state. But we are pro the land of Israel, living in the land, which I think, based on your family name, Said, I believe that is not something that you want, but that is something that God promised us as the Jewish people in the Torah. So if you ask me, for example, am I pro the state of Israel, then yes, I'm pro the state of Israel because it's helping to build the land. We need infrastructure, we need roads, we need buildings, we need medical aids, we need a Ministry of Defense, we need a Ministry of Health, we need all these things. Am I pro all these laws that the secular state makes? Definitely not. You know, you can be the one and the other at the same time. You can live in this dual world. But yes, we all Jews believe that Jews should live in Israel. That's why I came to Israel. That's why many of us come to Israel. It's a difficult country to live in. It's not easy. So why do we do it? could go back, many people are from America. America could go back, a big house, have servants. South Africa, big house, have servants. Why do we not do that? Because we are religious and we believe in the Torah. We believe in the book that God gave us. God said, this is our land. This is where we should live. So again, I've heard this argument a few times, but all Jews, religious Jews, people that actually know what Judaism is, they are pro-Zion, pro-Zion. Then he's making a book recommendation. I've never heard of this book. Definitely cannot recommend it. I also don't know who this rabbi is. Then he's saying, Francis Said is adding here, embrace anti-Zionist Jewry. I think I just made it clear that all religious Jews are pro-Zion. If you're not, then you have a big problem. The Satmars, for example, they say that we shouldn't live here yet. And listen to the language. They're saying we shouldn't live here yet until the Messiah comes, the Jewish king comes. But they also believe that we should live here, just not yet. And the Satmars are a tiny, tiny section of the Jewish people. They make a lot of noise. It's like an empty can. When you put a few coins in, it makes a lot of noise. That's the Satmars. But don't put all your trust in this little movement in Judaism. Majority of Jews believe we should live here, believe that this is footsteps of the Messiah, the birth pains of the Messiah is another word used in the Gemara, in the oral law. So this is where we believe we should live. I would say believe is the wrong word. We know we should live here. There's no suffix, there's no doubt. The Torah says we should live in Israel. So there's no such thing as being anti-Zion. Not even the Satmars are anti-Zion, anti-returning of the Jewish people to Eretz HaKodesh, to the Holy Land. They're just saying not yet. And again, we're talking a fraction of the Jewish people. I think they make out less than 1%. So if that is what you're hoping for and putting your trust in, you're putting your trust in basically an empty basket. Then user go for WZ2LX9Y is saying a question. Were the Canaanites not in Palestine before the Israelites? First of all, Palestine is a new word. This word is 2,000 years old, and it was the name the Romans gave the country. It's got nothing to do with Arabs. They cannot even say P in their language. You can ask my cousins here if they have P in their language. They don't. They have a Fay, Palestinia, but they don't have a Pay. This is from the Romans, who called the land Palestine. So in the Canaanites' time, it was called Canaan, not Palestine. Palestine is a Roman word that they gave to a land where there was no people called the Palestinians. It's the biggest the biggest myth that's been told to people. I made a whole video about, I called it the history of the occupation of Palestine. Nice catchy title. The word Palestinian people first appears in 1967. That's long after the State of Israel was created. So it's such a joke that people think there is such a people. There's a lot of Arabs, and these Arabs started calling themselves Palestinians, a name they cannot pronounce in their own language, which for me is so shocking, but it also shows the mental capacity of these people. But to address your question, a good question, were the Canaanites not, I'm going to correct your statement, were the Canaanites not in, you said Palestine, Canaan, before the Israelites? Yes, they were. There was actually 7 nations that lived in the land that we call today Israel. Again, you have to watch that video I already made about the history of the occupation of Palestine, which the land, the modern state of Israel, is not the biblical state of Israel. There's parts of Lebanon that was part of biblical Israel. There's parts of Jordan, that's today Jordan, also a new country. Jordan didn't exist before, which was also part of biblical Israel. Allot, the point of the map, that never belonged to the Jewish people. It was not part of our borders as described in the Torah. And then also in the book of Joshua, where we actually start to conquer the land, there's a much more detailed description of what is biblical Israel. In that video I mentioned there is a machloket, there is a debate between the Gra, the Vilna Gaon, lived 400 years ago, and Rashi, lived 1,000 years ago, about exactly what is biblical Israel and which tribe goes where. I wanted to make a video about it, but it was too complex to make. So, yes, there were 7 nations living here. God told us in the Torah that this is our land. You might also remember from the Torah that Avram was here. He lived in Beersheba in the south. And Yaakov was in Yitzchak, and Yaakov was obviously also living in Israel. And then Yaakov went with 70 people to Egypt. And later, the tribes returned. So, from Egypt to Israel. So, again, that video is much more detailed. I'm not going to try to give over, I think it was like an hour-long video in a quick reply, yeah? But you should check that video where I talk about who has the strongest and longest claim to the land of Israel. But yes, the Canaanites were here first. And the 7 nations were here first. But they no longer exist, so they don't have a claim to the land. Israel lies in ring. He's just saying that, yes, he's been a subscriber for a very long time. And he's actually giving me his pronunciation of his surname. Thanks a lot, because I mention you a lot. Because he's always in these live streams. And he comments on a lot of my videos. I know him from early on. I know a little bit of his story, so always nice to hear from you. User Go4WZ2LX9J is saying, do you know how condescending and spiteful you sound? I can always re-watch the video, but I'm just telling you the truth. In this channel is fact-based. It's based on facts. It's not based on feelings. So if facts hurt your feelings, then you should unsubscribe. There's a button below where if it says subscribe, you should unsubscribe, because that is what this channel is all about. I don't try to please people. I spoke about it in my latest video about how to deal with negativity, which I get a lot on this channel. And I try to please God. So I say things the way they are, the way it's written in the Torah. So if you don't like to know what God says, or you don't like facts, if facts hurt your feelings, then definitely you should unsubscribe to this channel. This channel is not for you. It's going to only hurt your feelings. You might hear the truth, but if the truth hurts you, then perhaps you should unsubscribe, work on yourself, and then come back when you are ready for the truth. But it's up to you. We live in a free world. You can subscribe and unsubscribe, watch, not watch. It makes absolutely no difference to me. With all due respect to everyone watching this, all my subscribers, I have already said I don't make money from this channel. I give my time for people that have questions, people that want answers, something that I wanted when I started, something I said I will do once I have finished my own journey. And that's exactly what I'm doing. So if it's not for you, it's not for you. And you're not hurting my feelings by leaving or not agreeing with the message that I'm teaching. I can tell you all with all honesty, it doesn't bother me. And there's many other people online, but here you're going to hear the facts. You can hear the truth. If you're not ready for that, spiritually, emotionally, then you should unsubscribe. Click the button below. So then he's also adding here that he's saying you have not learned anything about religion, don't even understand basic religious principles, stop baiting. So my whole life story is on YouTube. It's many years old. I have lived in many countries and I have learned many religions. So I actually do know quite a bit about many religions. The problem is you are offended because the facts hurt you. I'm assuming you're one of our cousins. So the facts hurt you that the Quran is from a demon. That's what Muhammad said. Believe your prophet. Why are you not believing your prophet? Why are you believing Khadijah, who said it was an angel? In your angel Gabriel, she told him. In your own book, it says you need 2 male witnesses, similar to Judaism. Khadijah was a female, an elderly lady that took care of Muhammad, a rich elderly lady. So she cannot be a witness. Muhammad was a witness. He himself can actually also not be a witness because he's only one. And you yourself cannot be a witness to something. You need 2 other witnesses. That's why all religions, except Judaism, is a story of a single person. You either believe this person or you don't. Judaism was given in a public event. And God actually says in the Torah that never again will that happen. And never again it did happen. Muhammad could have made up a story and said, and together with me was Abdullah and Ahmed. But he didn't do that because the Torah said it will never happen. And the Torah is always true. So yes, I did learn a thing or two about religion. But you can watch my whole personal story with photos, a little bit more details. So then he's saying other person got comment deleted. No, if you're talking about thought radius, the message was retracted. So I didn't delete anything. If I delete, I will actually have to take time to delete it. I've decided I'm happy to let the conversation flow in the live stream. It's quite entertaining, I think, for many people. And it's also will show clearly in the live replay just the ignorance of our cousins. The ignorance. It's sad, but it's true. The Mormon is saying children in Gaza are starving. I've already addressed that when one of our cousins stated that. That's because Hamas is starving their people, as they are starving our hostages. In fact, our hostage, look at a picture of what he looks like. That's just the one that was released, footage. But I made a video about it. You can watch it on my channel, about the starvation in Gaza, where I include photos of very big women in Gaza. Baruch Hashem, they're eating well, very well. And others are not eating well. I'm not saying everyone's eating well, but that's because Hamas is stealing the aid that's coming in through land borders, airdrops. Their name is Hamas, thieves. That's the name they chose. The Hebrew word for thieves is Hamas. They steal. You should speak with them. So the Mormon is saying some Jews say there is a difference, that they are Jews but not Zionists. I've told you about this tiny little section in Judaism called Satmars that would say that, But again, they do say that we shouldn't return to Israel yet. What does this, if you're a smart person, what does this word yet tell you? That we Jewish people should return to Israel eventually, when the Jewish king comes. And they also believe the temple, the third temple, should be rebuilt in Jerusalem. The mosque should be destroyed. Ask them, what's the end game? What do they believe should happen in the end? I'll tell you exactly what all religious Jews will tell you, because that's what's written in the Torah. And again, do not put your trust in such a tiny section of the Jewish people, less than 1%. So, if you're talking about some Jews, that's them. And what they mean is they're against the state of Israel. They don't mean they're against the Jews returning to Israel, which again doesn't help you. The claim that you are trying to make is that Jews, not all Jews say that Jews should live in Israel. No Jew says that. There's Jews that say they're against the secular state of Israel. Yes, there's Jews saying that. But do those same Jews believe that all Jews should live in Israel and a third temple should be put in place of that ugly mosque in Jerusalem? They will all tell you yes. Some will say only when there's a Jewish king. Some will say, we have to wait and we shouldn't force it. But all Jews believe that. So it doesn't help your argument. That's what I'm trying to say. It's cute. It's cute to say that. But it doesn't help your argument. No Jew believes that Arabs should live here instead of Jews. That no Jew believes. John Barley Boardman is writing, tell us more about the community you live in. Is it welcoming to converts? So I live in the settlements, in the Shomron, which is the biblical name for this area. The Christian name for this area is Samaria. And the left liberal media call this the West Bank, the northern part. The southern part is called Judea, both in the Torah and by the Christians. And the left liberal media calls it also the West Bank. For them, it's the south of the West Bank. So I live in the Shomron, which is the northern part. I actually live in the center, very close to Judea, in the region called Ephraim, biblical Ephraim. We still call it by its biblical territories. And it's a Shomer Shabbos community, meaning that almost everyone here keeps Shabbos. They keep the festivals, they keep kosher, very religious. They all serve in the army, or most of them serve in the army. And it's an Israeli community. By that I mean people speak Hebrew. It's not which we call Chutzlanik. It's not a community formed by people that made Aliyah from outside of Israel in Israel. Like by Shemesh, for example, people speak mainly English. Renana even, a lot of people speak English. Tel Aviv, a lot of people speak English. Yerushalayim, a lot of people speak English. Modi'in, a lot of people speak English. Yet it's not the same. Yet it's Israeli. People speak Hebrew. They love converts because they are religious. People that are religious, like really religious, they love converts because it says in the Torah 36 times that you shall love the convert. And this community is no different. They've shown us a lot of respect and very interested in our story. We are the only converts here. Some of them have never met converts. So, we are a bit of a tourist attraction here in the Shomron. But we are returning to Renana, not because of the community. The community is great, but they speak Hebrew. And my wife's Hebrew isn't good. And also she misses our previous community that we also helped to re-establish when I came in 2019 to Israel. So we're gonna go back there, but in Renana, to give you just another perspective, there's a lot of converts in Renana. In the synagogue that we're in, a lot of converts. So there it's a little bit less rare, but religious Jews like converts, respect converts, because the Torah tells them to do that. There is unfortunately a lot of missionaries that pretend to be Jewish or use the convert label, which hurts us as real converts. But one by one they get found out, and please God, they will cease their activity. But yes, Jews in general, they like converts. Also the secular Jews, I can tell you, also likes converts. So the Mormon is saying Palestinians were in Palestine way before the establishment of Israel. So that's factually not true. There was never a people called the Palestinians. The first time the Palestinian people is mentioned is in 1967, after the creation of the State of Israel. So no, it's factually not true. Jews were in Israel long before there was Islam. Islam is 1,400 years old. Our story, Mount Sinai, was 3,400 years old. If you want to say that Avraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov, they were not Jewish, they were Ivrim, they were Hebrews, factually true. They lived in Israel, in the land we call today modern Israel. Then we had Mount Sinai, 3,400 years ago. 40 years later, the Jews conquered the land of Israel with the conquest of Joshua. Jews, then they were fully Jewish. No more arguments whether they were Jewish or not. So we have a 3,400 year claim without Avraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov. I'm putting them now to the side. Starting now with Joshua. We have a 3,400 year claim to this land. Muslims only started 1,400 years ago. And that started in Saudi Arabia, not in Israel. When Muslims pray, where do they turn to? Why do they turn their backs to that ugly mosque in Jerusalem? Because that is not the holy place. The holy place is Mecca in Saudi Arabia. They should return to Mecca. There's a lot of space in Saudi. I lived in Saudi for 3 years. That place has space. It can take 2 million Palestinians easy. But no one wants them because they make trouble wherever they go. That's the facts. You can check. Lebanon made problems. The Lebanese rose up against the Palestinians. Jordan doesn't want them. Egypt doesn't want them. Have you ever seen a country that's been attacked? You know, they attacked us 7 October 2023. We counter-attacked. We're still attacking. Have you ever seen an Arab country, a Muslim country, close the border so that people that's apparently starving, according to many of these comments, so they can't leave the country? Why does Egypt not want to take these poor Arab Muslims that is starving, according to the comment section now here? Because they don't want them. They know they're trouble. Wherever they go, they make trouble. That's what they're good at. No one wants them. That's just the facts. Again, the channels are fact-based, not talking about hearsay. So I made a video called The History of the Occupation of Palestine. I will link it when this video is published. You can watch that video giving you a detailed history of this land that we call modern day Israel. And you will see that there is no claim. You've been lied to. Sorry to tell you so direct. I hope you're sitting down. I hope you're not on heart medication. But you've been lied to. The word Palestine is a Roman word. Arabs cannot pronounce it in their own language. Have you ever seen a people name their country and their people with a name that they cannot pronounce themselves? I mean, you don't get more dumb than that. You've been lied to. Sorry to tell you. So he's saying Palestine is not a new word. It is a new word. It's a word that was given by the Romans to this land where Jews lived. Remember that the temples, the Jewish temples, 1 and number 2, Jewish temples, Jewish. Did you notice I said Jewish? 2,000 years ago. There wasn't even Islam yet. There was no ugly mosque because Islam didn't exist. So, yes, it is a new word by the Romans. 2,000 years ago, there has never been such a people. It's not belief. You're saying something here about belief. It's not belief. This is the facts. This is historical facts. You should check it out. I mean, you're going to be shocked. I feel sorry for you because you're going to be... maybe this is the first time you're hearing the truth. I just realized that. Maybe you've never actually heard the truth. Because, you get lied to. What can I tell you? So, the Mormon is commenting a lot. Very good on his keyboard. He's saying only a small percentage of Jews are from Palestine. A lot of Ashkenazi Jews, me, and others are pure Europeans. And that's by the admission of Israeli Jewish scholars. I'm going to take you... Again, you should watch that video, The History of the Occupation of Palestine. I address all these questions. But in brief, 2,000 years ago, our second temple was destroyed, the Jewish temple. We were expelled from the land, from Israel, our land, Jewish land. We were kicked out. And we went to various countries. That's not so surprising. We were expelled from our land. Now we have returned to our land. Just because Arab Muslims stole our land, that they didn't buy from us, they just took it. Now they're angry because we are back. It's like an owner leaving his land because he's been kicked out of his land, his house. He never sold the house. He's coming back to his house, he sees a bunch of strange people living in his house. He tells them, look, what are you doing here? This is my house. Leave our house. He's saying it's also the reason you can't legally do a DNA test in Israel. You can do a DNA test in Israel. I work in the medical field. You most definitely can. But DNA doesn't prove anything. It has some relevance, but people have been so mixed up over the years that it doesn't really prove anything. I'm talking now about Jewish law. It doesn't prove anything. The state of Israel has a little bit of a different opinion about DNA tests. And I made a video with Rabbi Tradbergs from Machon Milton, who does conversion to Judaism for the state of Israel, where he does mention DNA tests and its relevancy for people that want to return to Israel. You can watch that video. Richard is saying, Shalom Shayel, Shalom Aleichem, Richard. So I'm not going to read now every of this Mormon's comments because he's commenting a lot. I'll just go through the rest of it. I want to get to other people as well. So I think I've addressed most of your comments, the Mormon. And I've referred to you to a video, The History of the Occupation of Palestine, where you can get all the facts that you need, get educated, because you seem very uneducated, and, watch the whole video, decide if it's true, if it's not true, Google it, put it into Chat GPT, and see what it kicks out. Read a book or two, and then you'll get to the truth. Did say in this one comment again about child murderers. Yes, Muslims are child murderers. That's what they did on the 7th of October. and they use children, babies, women, anything really as human shields. I've explained that already in this live stream. Maybe re-watch the live stream. Maybe you came on a little bit later. So that addresses that comment. Like I said, you comment quite a lot. I'm going to get to some of the other comments of other people. And people can read your comments here. You know, just to see how ignorant you are. So Joshua Williams is saying, been subscribed for a long time and I followed your growth in conversion and moving to Israel. Yashar kuach, kol hakavod lecha, yashar kuach. So that means all the honor to you and go with strength. So thanks a lot, Joshua Williams, for being a long-time subscriber to my channel and following my journey. And I've actually also, you know, I'm doing the series Our Jewish Life, prepping some videos with a little bit more photos, make it a bit more entertaining. So I've watched some of my old videos and it's good to see some of the changes that has been made. And thanks a lot for your comment. Robin Matz retracted the message. Then she wrote, I'm looking forward to your series on the mitzvot. Yes, me too. Like I said, I've actually already done the book. It's very interesting because in Judaism, you know, everyone says it's a mitzvah. But is it really a mitzvah? A commandment? Mitzvah means commandment. Or is it not? And by mitzvah, I mean now like a biblical mitzvah from the Torah itself. So, yeah, I'm also looking forward. And I want to get to all these series. That's, I actually thought, you know, I make a lot of small videos from these live streams, but it takes time to download it, to re-edit it. So I have thought that maybe I should not do that. Just publish it as is, maybe edit a little bit in the studio. Maybe, and obviously then I can't include pictures or anything. But still it's there for the people that want to watch. And, you know, then focus on these series that I want to complete. Because I do like, you know, starting a series, working it through, completing it. So hopefully I will do that. Like I said, this Moman is commenting a lot. You can read his comments, but I think I've already given him all the information he needs. I've referred him to a video that is filled with facts. If he likes facts, he should go to that video. If he wants to stay ignorant, he can stay ignorant. Joshua Williams is asking, do you still follow Rav Mizrachi? Also, do you follow Rav David Bar Chaim? So, yes, I still follow Rabbi Yosef Mizrachi. And I actually started a series where I recommend rabbis that I've personally met and, you know, recommending their channels. Something that's not done a lot here on YouTube, I'm not sure why. But, you know, people should move on from certain channels and learn more. So, yes, I've already recommended Rabbi Yosef Mizrachi and also Rabbi Tovia Singer. There's still quite a few rabbis that I will recommend. And the great thing about Rabbi Mizrachi and Rabbi Tovia Singer is it gets people going, like gets them interested, gives them some musar, Jewish ethics and teachings. And the rabbis that I will recommend as part of the series is rabbis that you can continue to learn from, grow from. The same with Rabbi, if you're still interested, you know, Rabbi Tovia Singer speaks a lot from a Christian angle. He's obviously a Jewish, Orthodox Jewish rabbi, but he knows the New Testament very well, and he speaks to that audience. When Mizrachi speaks to people that's returning to the Judaism, Baal Tshuvas, it's called, masters of return, and also to converts. But once you're into it, you need to continue your learning, learn more. So that's something that I've certainly tried and I've taken on. I learn Shulchan Aruch with the Mishnah Brura. I do the Mishnayot program and the Ramban, a little bit of the Daf, the Talmud. So, you should progress. You should never stay. Judaism, you cannot stay in one place. You should, if you stay in one place, you're moving down. It's like a downward escalator. You need to keep on moving forward, climbing, just to remain in the same place. So you need to put in extra effort to grow, especially in Elul. It's a very good time to work on growth. As for Rabbi David Bar Chaim, I've used him in one of my videos talking about Chabad, but I've never personally met him, and I only recommend rabbis I've personally met. I can tell you why, because there's a rabbi that I did listen to, and then I met him. I'm not obviously going to say his name, but I met him, and then I was a horrible person. To say it quite straightforward, a horrible person. So I realized that sometimes people are not the same in person as they are in the videos. So only once I've met someone, chatted a bit with them, see who they are as people, do I recommend them on this channel to my audience. My audience is mainly Baal Tshuvas, people that has returned to their Judaism, converts to Judaism, a lot of Noahites, people that believe that there's only one God and follows the 7 laws of Noah. And then we have a lot of my cousins following me, probably seeing what I will say next. And also a lot of Christians. So I have a mixed bunch. But I don't know him, so I cannot recommend him personally. So Kai's player is saying, it's one of our cousins, he's saying, I am a Muslim, I support Palestine, and I have Jewish friends, and a lot Jewish in Israel don't do kosher, they don't do Shabbos, they are gays, people don't follow mitzvot. So first of all, Kai's player, I agree. The majority of Jews, I can tell you, in the world, unfortunately, about 70 to 80% of them do not keep the laws of the Torah. You are 100% correct in that statement. It's very sad for us as religious Jews that do keep the commandments, that so many of our brothers and our sisters do not follow the laws of God. It hurts me. It hurts religious people. It should actually hurt everyone, but these are the people that I think is most hurt by it. And yes, we do believe that all Jews should keep the mitzvot. And the sad reality is they don't. Also, if you look through our history, that same video I made, the history of the occupation of Palestine, which I will recommend at the end of this live stream since I've mentioned it so many times. Our Jewish history shows you that a lot of our history, people didn't keep the Torah, didn't keep the mitzvot that God gave us, and it's sad. But to speak to your first comment, I'm not sure what you mean by you support Palestine, because such a place, the place was called by the Romans, this name. So I'm not sure what exactly you support here. Maybe you're supporting that Jews should live here, since you seem to believe in the mitzvot, in the commandments of the Torah. That same Torah commands us, as the Jewish people, to live here in Israel. So I hope you will also leave a comment saying that you support that all Jews should return from the 4 corners of the earth and live here in the Holy Land of Israel, as we are commanded by God, who told us that this is where we should live. that we should demolish the mosque that is on the Temple Mount in Jerusalem, and that we should rebuild the third temple, as is clear in all the prophecies. So obviously, if you're a man of God and you believe in the Torah and the Tanakh, the Nevi'im and the Ketuvim, then surely you must also support this claim that is fact, that God gave us, the Jewish people, this land, and that we should rebuild our third Jewish temple in Jerusalem. I will be happy to see your comment where you say Amen to that statement. Because like you said, you are a man that believes that we should keep the laws that is written in the Torah. So Cosplayer is then contradicting himself, saying this is crazy. People think Israel was made because of Judaism, and it was all about politics. So if you're speaking about the creation of the modern state of Israel, that was made by mainly secular Jews. 100% correct. I was in a course that spoke about the creation of the state of Israel. Most of the people that created the modern state of Israel were completely secular Jews. They kept nothing of the Torah. 100% accurate. My English name is Theodorus. Now the guy that people call the father of Zionism, I think is a bit of a stretch because Zion existed from Bible. It's written in the Bible, in the Tanakh. But anyway, as they call him, Theodor Herzl is called the father of Zionism, meaning he created this idea that we, according to this, what they teach in this course, created this idea that Jews should settle this land. His son, Hans, was a Christian. He married a non-Jew. His son is Christian, non-Jewish, and he killed himself. So you can look a little bit about who created the modern state of Israel. And like I said, there's a fact-based channel I've just told you definitely was created by secular, non-observant Jews, 100% accurate, with a few religious Jews, rabbis involved. Rav Kook, who was the chief rabbi of Israel before it was a state of Israel, just showing you Jews were here before the creation of the state. But all Jews believe this is where Jews should live, because that's what it says in the Torah. Now you just said that you believe in the mitzvot, the commandments of God. God, the one that created the world, told us, the Jewish people, this is where we should live. We listen to God. That's not politics. It happens to be that God gave us this land through completely secular Jews. Doesn't matter to us. God gave us the land, and we are back. And we're going to continue coming from the four corners, as the prophets mention, all over the place. And we're going to settle this land. We're going to build this land, like we've already been doing. This place was a swamp when we arrived. Look at what it looks like today. Look at the Arab countries around us. Still looks like a swamp. So it's not politics, it's religion. It's what God gave us. So then there's a little bit of debate here, which I like, between Israel and the Mormon. You can follow that in the live replay when this is published. Lord of the Sabbath. Yours is asking, aren't you a South African thief? I am a South African, but I've never stole something in my entire life. So I'm not a thief. Baruch Hashem. One of the 7 laws of Noah that all non-Jews should keep is that you shouldn't steal. Baruch Hashem. I have not stolen. I'm very careful with that. I actually check that people don't steal. I'm an inspector for the government. That's what I do. And then he's just going on here. He's saying nothing of value, so I'm not even going to read it. You can again see it in the live replay. Then Jib R, also one of my long-time subscribers. He also comments a lot. Thank you very much for your comments. I haven't seen you for a while. I think it's because I had a live stream not on Sundays. So he's saying lots of Islamics following you. I do have quite a healthy Islamic following. And reading the BS and anger and lies they try to spread, it seems to me you are on the right path. Thank you very much. I actually do get a lot of positive comments from Muslims and from Arabs in general. I have nothing against good Arab Muslims. That's why I stated in the beginning of this live stream that the vast majority of Arabs and Muslims are good, decent people. Also, according to the 7 laws of Noah, will have a share in the world to come, meaning they will go to heaven. And that's probably 90% of Arabs. I have nothing against Arabs. I've lived in an Arab country for 7 years. For 3 years, Saudi Arabia. I've lived in Malaysia for a year, a Muslim-dominant country. So I have nothing against them. I have a thing against lies. People being ignorant. People not checking facts. People believing something because they were told that all their lives. That I correct. Because I think if it was me, I was an Arab, let's say I was born an Arab, Muslim, that's what I know. I would want someone to tell me the facts. Maybe I totally disagree with that person. Then I will go check the facts. Is it true? Google it. You can find a lot of information on Google. Google it, check it, watch a few videos, read a few books, and you'll see what I say here is factual. It's not the facts you like, but it's the truth. Lord of the Sabbath is saying not keeping the Torah laws hurts the Geno cheerleader. Not sure exactly what that means, but yes, not keeping the Torah is hurting the Jews. 100%. We had it in Re'eh, the parasha of my son. Not only his parasha, but the parasha Shavua he was born in was Re'eh. And we also have it in Shoftim, that God, this Re'eh starts with the blessing and the curse. That we will be blessed if we keep the Torah, and we will be cursed if we don't. A lot of bad things will happen, and did happen. Like I said, if something is written in the Torah, it's always true. It's not a story of 3,400 years ago. It's always true. So yes, I agree with that statement. I'm not sure what the second statement is, but not keeping the Torah laws hurts the Jews. 100% MS. 100% the truth. It's our job as religious Jews to first of all be a good example, which we all can work on in the month of Elul, all year round, but especially in the month of Elul. And if you are a good example and you show that Judaism is good, which we all know it is, but by the way you live, then more people will return to their Judaism or convert. And that will strengthen the Jewish people. But yes, not keeping the Torah is not good. Not good at all. Suk Madik says, I'm 4% Ashkenazi Jewish, LOL. That's it, but I'm not a Jew. So yes, like I said, DNA in Jewish law doesn't mean anything. You can go for a DNA test and be 100% Jewish. And in Jewish law, if your mother is not Jewish, or the line of your mother is not Jewish, or you didn't convert to Judaism, then you are not Jewish. Even though you get blood results that says you are Jewish. There is a suffix whether you are Jewish or not, and you will have to convert. So I know, and this is a very common question on my channel is, you know, I did a blood test, a DNA test, and I'm 67% Jewish. Does that mean I still need to convert? Yes, you still need to convert. Because You are either Jewish by birth through your mother's line, or you need to convert. You need to learn all the laws. You need to keep the Torah, like Lord of the Sabbath, as mentioned here. That's part of the process. The Lord of the Sabbath, again, is commenting almost as much as the Mormon. So I'm going to skip him for now. You can see whatever he has to say. It seems that he is offended by the truth. Again, if the truth hurts your feelings, then this is not the channel for you. Unsubscribe at the bottom. If you are not ready for the truth, this channel isn't for you. I will not be offended if you leave. Not that you would care, but people come and go here on my channel. I'm not offended at all. When you are ready for the facts and the truth, you're welcome to return. It's an open channel. But if your feelings are easily hurt by the truth, then this is going to be a terrible channel to follow. Then Jab R is just saying, read the Quran. Even there it says that Israel is given to the Jews by God. 100%. 100% true. It says it in the Quran. This is Jewish land. It's not something that's even hidden. God made this false religion of Islam in a way that points these Muslims to the truth, to the Torah. But they don't read their book. They don't read their book. They should read their book. I'll say this to all Muslims. Take your book without the imams. Just read your book, cover to cover. And you'll see, this is Jewish land, belongs to the Jews, has always belonged to the Jews. Stop stealing our land. Stop being Hamas, which means thieves. Truth Seeker, which I recognize from comments on my channel, also comments a bit on my channel. So thanks a lot for your comments. He's saying this channel is fantastic. Thanks a lot. Appreciate the comment. Then Steve is writing, King Jesus Christ is the one and only true Moshiach. So I already made a video about whether or not Jesus is the Messiah. Jesus' real name was Yeshua. He was a Jew, born to a Jewish mother. There's a little bit of doubt about who his father was. Mary said that it was God himself, but she was in a tricky situation, like I've said in that video. She was Jewish. She was married to Yosef, and then there's a year for preparation where Joseph prepares. When he came back for the wedding, she was already pregnant. Now, in those days, the temple stood. The second temple was in Jerusalem. The Jewish temple, Islam didn't exist yet. Christianity also not. And she made up a lie. She made up a lie that said that God made her pregnant. Crazy lie. Let's be honest with each other. You are married to a girl. You come back a year later, you prepped everything else and everything. Now she tells you God made her pregnant. She should have kept her legs closed. This lie resulted in the slaughter of many Jews. The Romans that slaughtered all these Jews and destroyed our second temple adopted Christianity. 300 years after Yeshua's death, Jesus' death, and no one made him a king. He is mentioned in the Talmud. He was a rabbi. He was kicked out of the rabbinut because of his problem with prostitutes. He used to hang out with a lot of prostitutes. It was even written in the new book. And yes, he's definitely not king. He's not the Messiah. He's just a Jew that didn't follow the Torah. And he died at a young age, was slaughtered by the Romans, and the Romans then renamed our land, Israel, Palestine. So who loves your baby is saying the comments here are really offensive. Someone needs to moderate. So I could moderate them. I could click now on a button to make these comments go away. But I get a lot worse comments than this. This is still decent. I only delete comments when it's very offensive or when it's starting to attack my subscribers. Then you will be deleted from this channel. You will never be able to comment anywhere. But if you're just stating your opinion or what you believe, I allow that because it's a free country. Israel is a free country. Gaza is not a free country, but Israel is a free country, and I don't mind people having negative things to say or even comments that are offensive. I don't really get offended. I made a video recently about how I deal with negativity. I don't care what God thinks about me. Could care less what people in the comment section of a YouTube channel thinks about me. So I actually didn't find anything here very offensive. But thank you for your comment. And if it gets out of hand, if I see these live stream gets out of hand a little bit, I actually do have moderators that could moderate. Some of my long-time subscribers, like Israel. But again, I think it's good for discussion, debate, sharing ideas, sharing the truth. All these people that commented here, Lord of the Sabbath, the Mormon, Khamsa, this is probably the first time they heard the truth. Think about that. Remember, they've been lied to their whole lives. Steve that thinks that Jesus is the Messiah. He's been lied to his whole life. It's the first time he's tasting the truth. For most of them, this will be a shock. They'll go on Google after this and they'll Google it. They find out, no, this Shayel guy, he actually told the truth. I've been lied to. And that's how the journey starts. So that's why I allow the comments. So Steve is asking, do you believe in the rebuilding of the third temple and the red heifer sacrifices? Nonsense, he says. Most definitely I do. That's what the prophets say. Steve, you just said you believe in Jesus. Now you're saying you don't believe the prophets. Again, it never talks about the second coming of a Messiah in the prophets. So clearly you don't believe in the prophets. But yes, the prophets speak about the Jews will return from the four corners of the earth. Non-Jews will grab our tzitzit, the fringes of our garments, and they will tell us, teach us the truth. And that's exactly what we will do. And we will rebuild the third temple. We will return all the sacrifices, animal sacrifices, including the para aduma, the red heifer. Most definitely we will. That's what God told us to do. We listen to what God says, not a dead Jew. So yes, we will do what God says. Yosef Israel is saying, Israel freed Judea and Samaria from Jordanian occupation. We in fact did. We also freed the Sinai Peninsula, a big piece of land, almost bigger than the whole state of Israel. Not completely, but very close in land mass. And we gave that up for peace because Judaism is a peaceful religion. Jay is saying West Bank. That's the place that the left-wing liberal media calls west of the bank of Jordan. Jordan is a brand new country, by the way. Go Google the history of Jordan. I actually mentioned it in that video I made, history of the occupation of Palestine. And yes, they attacked us, Israel. And we obviously took back the land that was always ours, Shomron and Judea, which is the real name for the West Bank. So thanks a lot, everyone. Definitely watch the video that I will link here at the end of this video, which will give you the total history of the occupation of Palestine and prove to you once and for all that this land, Eretz Israel, the Holy Land, has always been Jewish land. Thanks for joining me. It will be every Sunday at 11 p.m. Israel time. Erev Tov, Yom Tov, and Chodesh Tov.